Hi, I'm Lita Leapin.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
Welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight. We are here in the Cabana Room.
That's right, Lita, at a place that is our home base, a lot of our episodes, Hydra Restaurant in the Exchange Hotel. Come check this great restaurant out, as well as the wine bar just below us, street level.
And in this edition of Our City Tonight, we are going to continue with our wine series from the Vancouver International Wine Festival. Great interviews from people with wines around the world.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Also, she was on the show 2 summers ago with her debut novel, which became a bestseller. Oh my goodness. TJ Newman is back to talk about her new novel, which will, I guarantee you, be a bestseller. The first one was called Falling. This one's called Drowning. It's out May 30th. We'll talk to TJ about all that's been going on in her world in the last 2 years.
Yeah, great thriller. And all of that coming up after you watch this.
This wine moment is sponsored by Time Family of Wines, bringing the best of Okanagan wines to you. Well, she is a familiar face on our show, and I think with this appearance, she will have set the all-time record for most appearances on Our City Tonight. Crystal Lee McWaters, our old friend, is back from the Time Family of Wines, the general manager. Great to have you back.
Oh, it's nice to see you.
Well, thanks for being on the show again. We are here at the Vancouver Wine Festival, and we're really excited. But you have, pardon the pun, evolved, and people will get what I'm saying there.
Well done.
The Time Family of Wines now has 3 distinct brands. Tell us each of the brands, and then we're going to get into what's sitting in front of us.
Absolutely. So our company is Time Family of Wines, and you're right, we do have 3 brands. So we have Kronos, which is a relatively new one.
Yes.
We just launched last year. We have Evolve Cellars, hence the pun.
Yes.
And our McWaters collection as well.
Yeah, okay.
Let's start with this. I'm excited to try this. I've been holding off. What do we have here, Sia?
Oh, so I'm very excited. This is our 2022 rosé. So it's springtime. The sun is out. Nothing screams spring more than rosé.
Oh, completely.
And so this is our Kronos rosé. This is 100% Syrah, so a little bit different than a lot of rosés in the valley. And what I love about it, for me, I get lots of watermelon, strawberry, beautiful little rhubarb characteristic to it. It's a little bit lighter than we've done in the past, just very quick skin contact. So it just sees about 45 minutes on the skin, so that's why it's a little bit lighter this year, but very excited about this. This just won a gold medal at the Cascadia International Wine Competition.
Congratulations.
Thank you, in Washington State, so we're very excited.
Wonderful. Well, we are going to be experiencing one of our favorite brands that you have. It's the namesake, your father, and I know that he said you guys had to bug him to do this particular collection. We miss your dad so much.
Yes.
Tell us about the legacy of the McWaters collection and what we have in front of us.
You're right, we're really excited. This is our McWaters collection. This is our meritage, and anybody that knew my dad knew that he was passionate about meritage. So it is meritage, not meritage.
Yes.
It rhymes with heritage. I know you know the lesson.
Yes.
We cannot stress that enough to everyone. But we're really excited about this one. This is our 2020 vintage, which we've just released. And I'm excited about it. It's big, it's bold, it's kind of like my dad was, you know?
Oh.
It's primarily Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon, about 10% Cabernet Franc, 5% Petit Verdot, and 5% Malbec. So nice, big, rich, bold characteristic.
And what does it go with?
I was just about to ask. Something big and rich and bold, I'm hoping.
Absolutely, a beautiful steak. We've just actually launched a new restaurant at the winery called a Rolo, which we don't like to call ourselves a steakhouse, but we're a house that serves steaks. So we have our own dry agers as well, so we're aging our own meat.
Sure.
We're in fact raising our own cattle as well. So
You're a farmer now.
I'm a farmer. Well, we always have been.
I know,
We're in the
of course.
wine business,
You're a
but
great
now we have
farmer.
animals as well.
Animal farmer
So,
now.
Yeah, so very excited. So for me, this goes amazingly well with one of the beautiful dry aged steaks that we have at their winery.
Wonderful.
And before we move on, you mentioned the role of the restaurant.
Yes.
You're looking at photos right now, folks. Tell us about the journey with that place, because it is really getting some great buzz. And tell us about what you can experience while you're there.
Absolutely. So we just opened at the end of April. And so just new, we just recreated, so we renovated the restaurant. We are still a winery first and foremost, but we've added a cocktail program to it as well. So we have a cocktail bar, obviously still focus on our wines as well, and you can still tour the winery while you're there. And we focus on the dry aged meat, but we also have a number of vegan options as well. In fact, our culinary director was a vegan for 3 years, so there are lots of vegetarian and vegan options as well.
Wonderful. I just want to mention for some of our viewers that might not have seen the past episodes, Jim and I were able to go when they even were breaking ground at this wonderful, wonderful restaurant that is attached to your winery, your urban winery. I encourage everyone to go there and experience that.
Yeah,
Penticton.
it's so different too and unique because you are right in the middle of Penticton,
Yes.
which
We
is
are,
rare.
exactly. We're not your typical winery. We do not have the beautiful vineyard views from the winery. We do have a vineyard, but it's in Osoyoos.
Yeah.
So we are literally right downtown. We purchased an old movie theater that was originally built in 1955, and we converted the theater into a winery.
One of my favorite sparkling wines on the planet, and remains so, is your Evolve brand. And your winery does it so perfectly. And they always have. They keep getting new ones out there, and it's really hard to choose when I go to the liquor
Well, that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
So, yes. As you know, we're huge bubble fanatics
Yes.
at the winery. Myself, Lindsay Schatz, our winemaker as well. So yes, we have, a lot of people know us from our Evolve Effervescence and our Pink Effervescence, the Lan Effervescence. We're excited to launch this new product here. So we have 2 new traditional sparkling wines. So the Effervescence has always been made in the Charmat method, so it's more a Prosecco method. This is a traditional method. So this has been aged Entourage for 4 years. This is a 2018 vintage. This is a blend of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and just a little bit of Syrah, just to pick up the fruit, gives it a little bit of a strawberry rhubarb characteristic.
I can taste
And-
the rhubarb completely.
Right? Yeah. So we're really excited for this new lineup of our new Elevate series for fall.
And I know that chips, potato, would be first on your list to drink.
Course.
Would you drink? But give us some food pairings with
Well, I
this.
find this is a little more refined than the potato chips, so maybe a nice
Okay.
truffled popcorn.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
All kidding aside, this one I think is amazing with oysters, smoked salmon, the classic pairing, caviar is
Right.
pretty amazing as well. So
Well,
any seafood really.
Congratulations on another huge success. This
Thank
is
you.
award-winning already, right?
Excellent,
Yes.
thank you.
Check out Krista Lee and her entire team at Time Family of Wines, and a great urban winery right in the middle of Penticton.
They also are in the District Wine Village that is in Oliver. You can find these wines as well. And we also wanted to thank Leanne.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
Town Hall
Leanne, the
Branch.
Town
We
Hall,
always
yes.
give her a little shout out at the end.
Exactly.
And
Cheers. Thank you, CL.
for making time.
Thank you.
We will let you get back to a very busy
Wow.
day.
It's a great day. Nice to see you.
Nice to
Cheers.
see you. Cheers.
This wine moment was sponsored by Time Family of Wines, bringing the best of Okanagan wines to you. Well, we've never done this with a returning guest, but what you're looking at right now is a bit of video we showed 2 summers ago when she first appeared on our show. What you're looking at is an author finding out her debut novel has become a bestseller. She joined us shortly after that in June of 2021. The reason we're showing you that is because she is back with us again to talk about her next novel, which has kept us awake for several nights, like her first novel, coming to us from Arizona. Welcoming back TJ Newman. TJ, welcome back to our city tonight.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on again. It's wonderful to be back with you, and I apologize for the sleepless nights.
That's a good thing.
Big time. And I was just sharing with you, I don't want to scare anyone off the book because it is absolutely fabulous. But me being claustrophobic, it's like you just feel like you're there. It was fantastic. It actually was fantastic. It's like being right in there. And your book from before, Falling, was about more terrorist, hostage taking, a plane possibly crashing. This one is all different. This is about a plane malfunctioning and what people do. It was absolutely the page turner that we thought it would be.
Thank you. That makes me so happy to hear that. And yeah, it is intense, like you said. It's the story of a rescue of a flight that crashes 6 minutes after takeoff into the ocean. And of course, the passengers immediately evacuate until an explosion forces them mid-evacuation to close the doors. But it's too late. The plane floods and sinks, with 12 people trapped inside, including a father and his 11-year-old daughter. Now, their only hope of survival lies with an elite rescue team on the surface, led by her mother and his soon-to-be ex-wife. And as you said, like, you hear that, and that's intense, that's scary, that's gonna keep you up at nights, but that's really just the setup. The true heart of the story is that it's a rescue story, it's a survival story, it's a story of a fractured family coming back together. It's about love and hope and resilience, and that is what this story really, really is about.
It's fascinating too because it's about people's decision making too, right from the minute the decision to vacate or stay in the plane. The ones that did obviously made the right choice, but who knows? That part was really interesting because you developed those characters, and we all know people. Every single one of us knows a person like one of the people that was on the plane. People you want to hit, people you want to just strangle, people you want to love and hold. Obviously there's tragedy and drama, but I'm not going to give away the ending.
No, you cannot do that, or TJ's people will be on us.
It is right to the end, though, right to the end. And yeah, darn you, that right to the end, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just saying to everyone, read it. It is amazing, right to the last page.
You recently did something we wanted to mention, TJ. You penned an open letter to Deadline.com, which I just found really wonderful, to read, but also for you to do, which was all about don't give up. I'm looking at a couple of quotes, which is, I didn't come this far just to go this far. And Deadline is a website where successful people, wealthy people, established people read, but also people that are trying to make it in life. Talk a bit about your thinking and the motivation behind that wonderfully written letter.
Thank you so much for that. And the response that I've received from that since it came out has been overwhelming. How many people have reached out and said, this is me. I too am facing and have faced nonstop rejection, and I'm trying to convince myself to keep going, and this really helped. My story is that I tried to be a Broadway actress and I failed at that. And, I did the whole mid-20s after I moved home from New York, living in, my parents' house in my childhood bedroom, wondering what I'm going to do with my life. And that's when I got a job at a bookstore and started dreaming again. I describe in the piece, how I used to take my thumb and cover up the first name of the books that had authors with my last name. And when I shelved them, I would cover it up and I would pretend that I was shelving my own book. And so I started to dream again at the bookstore, and then I started to write. And then when I became a flight attendant is where I had the idea for my first book, Falling. And I wrote it in the galley by hand at night while passengers slept on the red eye. And then once I had a book, it was, ready to go out, and I was submitting it to agents, and I was rejected 41 times. No one wanted the book. No one wanted me. And my 42nd agent submission was my one and only yes. And that failure, that struggle for so many years, for so long, was so hard. But I did it. And you said, I didn't come this far just to come this far. And that's what I kept repeating to myself every time I wanted to give up, which was all the time. All those rejections hurt. And I could easily not be with you today, talking about this if I had given up. But I didn't, and I kept going, and now I've got 2 books. I've got 2 film deals. I'm living my dream come true. And I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anyone in publishing. I didn't know anybody in the film industry. I didn't have an in. I don't have, a family name. I don't have, family money. I don't have a resume. I didn't have a platform. All these things that they tell you have to have in order to make it, I didn't have. And so I wrote this letter to dreamers just to let them know, don't believe that. Don't let that be the only voice that you listen to, because I'm living proof that your dreams can come true. Yeah, it's hard. The odds are tough, but why not you? And I think people have really resonated with that message, and it's beautiful to see, and it's really motivated me, and I'm just so grateful for everything that has come because of that piece.
Yeah, it's a great letter. I would recommend people go to deadline.com. And you're right, you clearly say that, okay, I acknowledge I'm the exception, but you know what, exceptions happen every day. And I want to just wrap that up because Lita's got a couple of things she wants to ask you. But there's you have a great thing, speaking of dreams coming true, where you said, there's something insane about the fact I hopelessly fell short of my Broadway ambitions, yet I just hired and approved 5-time Tony Award-winning nominee Laura Benatti to narrate my second book, or that my main route as a flight attendant was LAX to JFK, and last month I had a Zoom meeting with a producer I remember serving chicken to in first class. So you know of what you speak.
Definitely.
Just even hearing you recap, it's insane. I'm still trying to process this whole thing. It really, truly is a dream come true.
Wow, perfect. And we're going to wrap up with letting our viewers know that you have sealed the deal on the film for the first movie that was done, and the second book too now.
Yes, Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is going to be doing the second book, is going to be doing Drowning, and that was a whirlwind, insane week in and of itself. I was on Zoom calls with Nicole Kidman, and wow, it was mind-boggling how I went from just scribbling notes in a forward galley of an aircraft to being on Zoom calls with Nicole Kidman. It was it's insane.
Congratulations. Yeah. We're so excited for all of you.
And
success.
I believe, correct us if we're wrong here, TJ, but Falling the movie is out this summer, yes?
I don't believe it has a specific release date yet, but it's moving forward. Things are happening, and I think that's all I'm kind of allowed to say about that.
Yeah. Understood.
Definitely
okay.
saying this is a movie you got to see on the big screen to.
Yeah.
So it'll get people back in the theaters. It's fantastic.
Hey, the new book is out May 30th. It's called Drowning. We would also recommend you read Falling. Not at the same time. That might be too much for you. It would be too much for me. But TJ, thank you for joining us again. It was great to have you on the show 2 summers ago with your first book, and we appreciate you coming back and talking to us about your second. We'll hold you to coming back to talk about your third when that happens.
And let's thank Corinne for organizing all this with
our person up here, Corinne.
A good friend of ours too.
Yeah. TJ, best of luck. Have a good summer.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You too.
Writing.
And hopefully one of these days we'll be able to do this in person in Canada, because the response from Canadian readers has been incredible, and I would love to be there in person with you.
Perfect. We'd love to have you.
Thanks, TJ.
Well, we're here at Hydra in the Cabana Lounge, and taking a little break from the other interviews to do something that we love doing, is talking about food. And we have Batu, who's the general manager here at Hydra. You've been a part of the executive table group for some time, and you've brought some beautiful dishes. Let's start with the one on the end there. I know it's halibut season, and you always do a great job.
Absolutely. So 3 additions in our spring menu. So the first one going to be the halibut plate. Mm-hmm. So we would like to add a lot of spring fresh ingredients to add some more flavor to our halibut. We have some fresh chickpeas, roasted radish, and some asparagus in there. And on the bottom, as you can see, Lita, there's some white sauce in there, which is that's the scrodalia.
Okay, chef does a good job all the time. He always mixes up, makes it a little bit different, but keeping the same flavor profile. Let's move over here to the brand new dish. I'm so excited to try this.
Yes, that's I believe that's going to be the most popular one. So that's another addition, the good addition to our spring menu. That's the chili ouzo garlic prawns. Obviously, it's come with forno baked pita bread. On the bottom, you can see a nice, beautiful, juicy, fatty sauce is cream spinach feta in there, and good amount of tiger prawns.
Oh, definitely a good amount. This is a beautiful dish And thank goodness, I'm going to say welcome back. This is such a popular dish. You got calls and requests to bring this.
Yeah, so
back.
it was on our list, and then there was a lot of demand on this. We are putting on our spring menu. So let's start from the top.
Yeah.
So we do have good amount of tiger prawns. It's a tiger prawn cocktail. And next to the tiger prawn cocktail is a fresh Atlantic lobster in there. Go on the first one, we do have local oysters. On the other side, we have our signature scallop and prawn ceviche, marinated octopus and tuna tartare.
Oh my gosh, you guys do such a great job.
Yeah.
Aftertaste. Oh, that is really one of my favorites. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Absolutely.
Have a great seafood restaurant here and some great Greek wines to go with this as well. Thanks, Batu, as usual. And we can't wait to dig into this.
Thank you very much, Lita. It's always a pleasure to have you guys here. Thank you.
This wine moment is sponsored by Vina Santa Rita, one of the most iconic wineries out of Chile. Well, here at the Vancouver International Wine Festival for another wine moment, as mentioned off the top, joining me all the way from Chile is Oscar Salas, who is the Santa Rita winemaker for Santa Rita Wines. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
How you doing, Jim?
I am well and
Happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I want to talk about your wines. What I was really struck by before I had your wines is the, well over a century of winemaking at Santa Rita, 1880. Give us a little background on the history, because it is quite a history, this winery.
Yes. So Santa Rita was founded as a winery in 1880, but that was the year when we planted all the hacienda in Santa Rita, about 600 hectares. But the history of Santa Rita goes way back. The first vintage was in 1640s.
Oh, even further back,
So
wow.
we are one of the oldest wineries in Maipo, where the Santa Rita is located at. And we have a lot of history. We're very linked to the independence of Chile, because at one point, 120 patriots that fought for the independence, they were defeated before the independence, and they ran away to Argentina, and they stayed there for 4 years before they came back. And on the way to Argentina, they stopped, and the owner of Santa Rita at the time, a lady, she hid them in the underground cellars of wines, and they stayed there for almost 1 year.
Well, and jumping forward over a century, as I said, 1880 and even further back, let's talk about these great wines. I've been a fan of your wines for a number of years, but for our viewers at home, let's just walk through these great wines, starting with this one.
Okay,
right
so
here.
the first wine is called Secret Reserve. It's a blend of 85% Cab and 15% Syrah. The Cab is the serious guy, you know, the backbone of the wine, and then the Syrah is the funny guy in the blend.
Right.
Because it's a very mellow, sweet varietal. So it's a very nice fruity blend.
What would you pair that with?
Well, you know, the reds, you have to pair them with protein, basically.
Right.
But that's a very fruity wine. So you have
taste
lots
it,
of stuff to blend it with.
Here's another one of your creations here. Let's talk about this second wine here. And again, the Maipo Valley is where we're looking at for this wine,
Yes.
correct? Yeah.
So Maipo is where Santiago, the capital, is at. So this is up in the mountains.
Right.
This is about 800 meters above the sea level.
Yeah.
And that gives very low temperatures during night. And finally, the wines from Maipo Andes. Andes is because they are up in the Andes. They're very soft and dense in the palate, the tannins. A lot of ripe black fruit, very good wines. That Medalla Real is the core brand of Santa Rita, because one of the owners in the 18th century was the Marquis of Medalla Real. That title was given by the Spanish crown,
Right.
you know, we're a colony. That's why we have that name. That's a very important brand for us. We started those wine in the 80s. And this is a Cabernet Sauvignon with only a 3% of Petit Syrah.
Okay.
A little bit, and aged 1 year in French barrels. These are traditional winemaking, but also from those alluvial soils from the foothills of the Andes. So very soft in the palate and dense.
Yeah, a lot of gets said about your region of the wine world in terms of the altitude and the temperature and sea level and everything. Give us just a quick description of what that does to the wine. How does that cultivate and help the wine?
So when you go up in the Andes, you have very low humidity. We're talking about 20 to 30%. And then you have high maximums. When we talk about climate, we always talk about 3 months, the 3 months before picking the grape.
Right.
So high maximums, very low minimums. So that thermal amplitude that you get makes the wines more elegant with a little bit of less red fruit, more black fruit, but very, very soft tannins and very elegant.
Nice. We have a few seconds left. Let's talk about this last one. And we should say you are an accomplished winemaker. This one you brought out is a colleague of yours.
Right.
And he has created this one and was, his name is Sebastian
Labe.
Labe.
So he makes this wine. It's a beautiful blend. It's a blend of, we call it triple C because it has 3 C varieties.
Right.
45% of Cabernet Sauvignon, 40% of Cabernet Franc. The Cabernet Sauvignon is the backbone of the blend. Cabernet Franc is from the alluvial soils, very mellow in the palate, and some flowers on top. And finally, 15% of Carmenere. And that Carmenere gives the complexity in the nose, a lot of elegance, and Carmenere is really soft and mellow in the palate. So it's a beautiful blend.
These are all beautiful, and it's a great one to finish up on.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here. It's a great history you have and great wines to
thank
go
you,
with
Jim,
it.
for having me.
A pleasure. Oscar Salas, he's come all the way from Chile, the Waipo Valley. It's Santa Rita, and they are part of another wine moment here on Our City Tonight. This wine moment was sponsored by Vina Santa Rita, one of the most iconic wineries out of Chile. Closed captioning and other promotional considerations provided by Hamilton High Street Senior Residence, Richmond's newest senior living community.
Wow, that was a lot of fun.
It really was. Good to see TJ Newman back on the show, and just such a nice person off camera. What you're seeing on camera is who she is off camera. And congratulations on a great book. Boy, it's going to be another big seller, I think.
I think so, definitely.
Well, that does it from Hydra. Come enjoy the great food at this restaurant located in the Exchange Hotel in downtown Vancouver. I'm Jim Gordon.
I'm Lita Leapins.
See you on the next edition of Our City Tonight. Don't forget to check out past episodes and individual interviews, all on the Our City Tonight YouTube channel. The Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.